Hey everyone, and welcome back to We Are All Fine, flawed, insecure, nervous, and emotional. The space where we talk all things mental health, self-compassion, and how to stay human in a world that feels overwhelming. I'm Heidi, and I'm a counsellor and psychotherapist specialising in working with young people. And today, we're talking about something that so many of you feel but don't always have the words for: comparison fatigue. You know that exhausted, defeated feeling after scrolling Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, seeing what everyone else is doing, wearing, or achieving? It leaves you feeling like you're not enough, even if 5 minutes ago you were doing and feeling just fine. Now that's comparison fatigue. And today we're going to break it down, why it happens, how to spot it, and how you can give yourself a break from it. Welcome. Comparison fatigue is basically burnout from constantly measuring yourself against other people. It's a sense of emotional and mental exhaustion that comes from scrolling social media highlight reels, seeing other people's wins, but ignoring your own, and worrying about how you stack up against everybody else you see. And it's so common, especially for young people right now, with a phone, with social media. And I think many of us carry a quiet shame about how glued we are to our phones. We will call it an addiction, half joking, but I guess deep down, some of us might know there's some real truth in that. It's a well-known fact that phones are deliberately designed to keep us engaged, intentionally rooted in well-established principles of how our brains work. And yet, despite knowing this, we shame ourselves for the inability to disengage from our devices. It turns out that behind the calm exterior of phone use lies a surprisingly intense cognitive process. Your brain is working overtime while you scroll, juggling your attention, processing the visual stimuli, making snap judgments, and managing micro rewards, all while trying to stay emotionally regulated. And the result of this is mental fatigue that can sneak up like a fog. And every time you open an app, it's going to feel like everybody is prettier, more successful, more confident, more everything. It really does trick your brain into thinking you're falling behind or you're not enough. But here's the truth. People only post what they want you to see. It's all edited, filtered, carefully chosen. Their highlight reel is never, ever the full story. Now, your brain wasn't designed to compare you to thousands of people every day. It just can't handle it. So it short circuits and leaves you feeling tired, anxious, and maybe even hopeless. Now, you're literally melting your brain by all the inputs and the outputs. And one of the heaviest costs of endless scrolling is the erosion of your sustained attention. Every flick of the thumb switches your focus to something new, and over time, this will recondition your brain to prefer shorter bursts of attention over prolonged concentration. That's my summary of comparison fatigue. It's about your phone, your brain, and everything else that goes on in the bits in between. So why does it happen? Now, the science says our brains evolved to check we fit into our social groups, to stay connected and safe. That made sense thousands of years ago in a much smaller world, in a smaller village, or a smaller tribe. But how about now? Now we have global social media, influencers, viral trends, everybody's perfect and excellent lives, and our brains go into overdraft trying to compare us to everybody, everywhere, all of the time. That's way too much to process. So we're going to feel overloaded, burnt out, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. We know what it is. We know why we're suffering with it. Basically, we've all got prehistoric brains in 21st century skulls. Here are 5 ways you might notice if comparison fatigue is showing up in your life. The first thing you're going to be doing is you're going to start feeling deflated after scrolling. You won't be coming off social media feeling hyped, positive, or energetic. Secondly, you're going to keep thinking things like, well, what's the point? Because you're never going to feel you're going to match up. Thirdly, you're going to start questioning your self-worth. This is a horrible rabbit hole to start going down. Questioning your value, what you're worth when you're constantly exposing yourself to people who you think are more than you. The fourth thing you'll be doing, you're going to lose motivation because the fatigue and the energy all of the above 4 points take from you really will wipe you out. And lastly, you're going to feel anxious or even a little bit hopeless. It's like your brain is so busy comparing yourself to everybody else, there's no energy left for you to look at your life and celebrate your own wins, because there will be many of those. When comparison fatigue is a real thing in your world, you're not going to have any time left for looking actually the realistic sides of your life, and they're going to be better than you think. There just won't be a clear path to those feelings when comparison fatigue is heavy, burdensome, and stuck in the way. Okay, so how can you manage it? Let's get practical. How can you protect yourself from comparison fatigue? I have 5 gentle suggestions for you to start thinking about. Number 1, can you start to think about setting boundaries with your apps? It really is okay and very, very healthy for you and your brain to take a break from TikTok or Instagram, even if it's just for a day, even if it's just for an hour. Second thing I'm going to suggest you start to do is notice when you're comparing. So is it perhaps when you're tired, lonely, stressed? That's a signal to care for yourself, not to look at other people and not to beat yourself up. So if you notice the comparisons are coming, take a moment, step back, observe what you're doing and change your thought patterns. The third thing I'm going to suggest you do, now just remember this, it is only a highlight reel. People post what they want you to see and not the whole messy story in the background. Those of you familiar with my show know I'm a really big fan of self-compassion. That's being really ultra kind to yourself. So my fourth suggestion here is about practicing gratitude. Take a moment to name 3 things you're genuinely grateful for in your own life. Write them down right now or say them out loud. So what are those 3 things that you're genuinely grateful for in your own life right now? Gratitude is a proven antidote to comparison fatigue. That gratitude, that personal level of gratitude of yours can come from any area in your life. You might just be grateful you can breathe in the fresh air or walk or run or smile or take time out for yourself. Anything that goes on that gratitude list belongs to you, which makes it important because you're important. And fifthly, talk about it. Share how you're feeling with someone you trust. And I bet you chances are they're going to feel it too. And you'll both feel less alone with this kind of stuff. Comparison fatigue will be in all of your friendship groups, your family circles. Everybody you know would have had an experience of this, me included, at some time in their life. Before we close the show today, here's my therapy thought for you. Ask yourself this. What would I do differently if I wasn't worried about being better than anyone else? Imagine how much more space you would have in your mind, in your world, if you weren't worried about being less than, rather than the same as, or actually, in many cases, more than. Sit with that, and it might be something you can even journal about. All right, that's it for today's episode. Comparison fatigue is real. You're not weak, pathetic, or dramatic for feeling it. You're a young person learning, growing, developing, and accepting means you get to set limits, rest, and celebrate your own path. Yes, it might look different from everybody else's, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. If you found this episode helpful, do share it with a friend who might be struggling too, and follow the podcast for more honest, kind mental health chats and supportive encouragement. Next episode is written, so join me as we discuss how to be okay with not being okay. Now, this is something we really do need to talk about and normalize. Next week, let's unpack how to accept those hard feelings instead of fighting them, and why that's actually healthier than pretending you're fine all the time. And this podcast always celebrates being fine. We are all flawed, insecure, nervous, and emotional, but always remember, be yourself. You are no one else. Until next time, take care of your mind, your body, and the version of you that's unfolding. Finally, some important takeaways. The podcast is for informational use only and should not be used as a substitution for professional advice or for personal diagnosis. These opinions are personal, and I do not guarantee the accuracy of such opinions or information. I'm not intending to create a counselling relationship with you, and you should always consult a qualified mental health professional with any concerns.